In this video, I'm going to react to 5 theories about the universe that will blow your mind. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now, this is the sort of thing that I could easily watch in my spare time. I've said this in quite a few other videos, but anything related to space, time travel, space exploration, science fiction, I'm really into that. Really enjoy stuff like this. And this video here was recommended to me about a month ago, and I was deliberately saving it just because, like when it comes to the universe, because there's just so many planets out there, there's so many stars that have planets within the habitable zone where, it's not too hot, not too cold, potentially there's water there. It makes me wonder, is there life out there, intelligent life? Are we alone? That's a huge question that I really hope we answer, before I croak, you know what I mean? Just because imagine we get visited by an intelligent species. Wouldn't that be cool? Obviously, hopefully they don't come here to try and colonize us, but it would be really cool just to actually find out if there are intelligent aliens out there. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to 5 theories about the universe that will blow your mind. Let's do it. All right.
Advancements in quantum mechanical theories and new technologies that allow us to better perceive our universe and understand the answers to questions we never believed possible to answer seem to be developing every single day, as research scientists work to provide us with new insights and revelations to our universe that break the boundaries of what we ever thought was possible.
Absolutely, especially with things like the James Webb Telescope, which I hope is actually going to be launched. I think they said October or November, so very soon. That thing is going to really it's going to teach us so much about what's out there potentially.
These findings will often spawn new theories and enlightenments that will cause even the most stoic of people the need to sit back and collect their thoughts in order to come to terms with theories that are so mind-blowing they are often groundbreaking in their own right. So today, we will be visiting 5 theories about our very own universe that will absolutely blow your mind.
All right.
We exist inside a black hole. The Big Bang has been a scientific discovery that has led countless physicists and research scientists scratching their heads since its first appearance. When scientists pointed their sensitive measuring devices towards the sky and picked up on the large quantities of background radiation of the universe that helped to paint an enlightening picture as to the original moments in time that our universe began, more questions began popping into their heads than could be answered. The most significant question seemed to be the most recursive. If the Big Bang created the universe, then what created the Big Bang?
That's actually true because, they do say for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So, for the Big Bang and all of the matter that appeared with it, to just happen spontaneously, there had to have been something before that caused that reaction, the cause and effect. Yeah.
This was a question that would go unanswered for many decades, and many others attempting to abandon the thought altogether. How can we see what happened before anything ever even happened? This thought would soon change after mathematicians would make a strange comparison between the Big Bang and an unlikely celestial body that was still regarded as nothing more than theory.
Wow.
Black holes. Now, the theory behind black holes was more than just shrouded in mystery, and it was not until a man by the recognizable name of Albert Einstein helped humanity to realize that space and time are interwoven and connected in something we refer to as the fabric of space-time. Interestingly enough, the mathematical theory of mass then being able to stretch and distort this fabric similar to that of a rock resting on a cloth led to an innovative idea relative to the limits of this distortion. It was in the math that scientists believed that if the mass of an object grew to a certain size, this would cause the fabric of space-time to stretch and the mass, although finite, to be compressed into a zero-dimensional point with no volume, creating a singularity, or as we commonly refer to as a black hole, with a gravitational force so great that light itself could not escape it. Of course, initially, many scientists believed that an infinite density was impossible and that such an occurrence in the math was an obvious flaw that worked to prove the illegitimacy of general relativity and that black holes could not possibly exist.
I mean, black holes are, they really, really fascinate me. I can't help but wonder if at some point in the distant future, when we have the technology, whether it's, whether we use nuclear engines or whatever it is that can get us close to a black hole, close enough without getting obviously crushed into oblivion, I reckon we're going to make some huge discoveries about, possibly how maybe we can use them as a vehicle for transportation. I know that probably sounds completely idiotic, but because if space and time are interwoven, like the possibilities of if you could build some kind of vehicle that could sustain the pressure of being within a black hole, what would happen if you went through it? Like, where would it lead to? Like, let me know in the comment section if you can answer this, but because surely all the information we have right now is theoretical, right?
Of course, this would come to change in time as better technology has allowed us to observe the effects of gravitational distortion and the large supermassive black hole located at the centre of our galaxy. But an interesting comparison was made between the nature of black holes and the nature of the Big Bang in the meantime. It became obvious to quantum physicists that the math completely added up, that the Big Bang appeared to be the inverse perspective of the black hole, leading many physicists to believe that the creation of our universe very well could have been the creation of a black hole, and that existence and the stretching of space-time as we know in reference to the expansion of our universe could merely be us existing inside of a singularity.
Wow.
Could it be possible then that we are merely a product of an outside aging universe and that the original creation of our universe was from this event? Further evidence is provided when plotting out the fourth dimensional graphing of the timeline of our universe that shows a growing expanse from a singularity stretching out similar to an infinite density could stretch the fabric of space-time.
Yeah, because they do say the universe is constantly growing bigger. Like, I've heard that theory before, so that does kind of, match up with what this man's saying.
Leading many more scientists to find this theory to be a legitimate answer to the question of the Big Bang.
Crazy, dude.
An infinite loop. The world of infinites in mathematics have led to a tremendous amount of insights when discussing aspects of conceptual math. None more so than the advancements made by George Cantor and fellow great mathematicians. This had, however, led to many complications in the world of real-world applications relative to the concept of infinites. A sphere, in this regard, could be considered an object with infinite points on its surface, and when the math is worked out correctly, one could, in perfect mathematical theory, create two perfect spheres with the same mass, size, and density of the original sphere. This is referred to as the Banach-Tarski paradox, and though many scientists had initially regarded the concepts of this application as impossible in the real world, the math was right. It was not until many decades later that numerous researchers had begun noticing strange theories coming to light. The CERN Institute, during its testing of particle collisions and subatomic particles breaking down, began noticing a creation of more particles than initially started with. In fact, a paper had recently been published believing that not only was the Banach-Tarski paradox applicable in the real world, but that many of the calculation errors and research at CERN helped to prove that this phenomenon was already naturally occurring. If this research is correct, it could mean that the traditionally held theories of the laws of conservation of energy could be entirely incorrect,
Wow.
and that new particles could be cloned from existing particles naturally.
Now that's interesting. If we can somehow, properly master how to do this, I imagine it would have big implications for things like energy production, right? Because if you don't have to burn fossil fuels to create energy, if you can simply clone, energy, surely you wouldn't have to, it would be a much cleaner form of energy production as well. At least, that's my basic understanding of this.
This, alongside the existing mind-blowing theory that we exist inside a black hole, could very well mean that every time a new black hole is created, a universe imperfect copy of our own could be created as well.
Wow.
This could very well mean that we are stuck in what appears to be an infinite loop, as the universe forms and dies countless times and falls into a black hole and restarts all over again.
Wow.
Of course, since the very laws of the universe are unchanging, this would mean that all of the factors relative to creation would stay the same, and ultimately create a universe that would play out exactly
the
as our
same.
own.
Yeah.
Could it be that you have seen this very video over 1 trillion times already?
Wow.
Regarding new theories, it could very well be possible.
That's crazy. Imagine that.
Multiverse theory.
Here we go. This would be fun.
One startling revelation made by quantum physicists that has converted even the most optimistic individuals into nihilists is the concept of the multiverse theory. When pondering the mathematical implications and probability of a universe forming, as well as other theories in regard to dimensional mathematics, physicists began positing a thought experiment forward. Why did our universe form with these specific rules? With these specific numbers and laws of mathematics? Scientists believe that the odds of this occurring are so astronomical that it is far from probable that every variation of every possible universe exists to allow
exactly
such
like
occurrences.
ours.
What is even more interesting is that researchers believe they have evidence of the multiverse theory occurring in the natural world, given the complete probabilistic determination of quantum mechanics and its properties such as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and the formation
When I heard Heisenberg, I immediately thought of Breaking Bad. It just shows how childish. Oh my god.
of virtual particles. This could very well mean that every possible variation of every universe and every decision ever made could more than exist and could potentially, one day, be explored.
Imagine that. Imagine being able to, hop in a vehicle of some kind and meet like an infinite amount of versions of you, like you could line up like 1,000,000 versions of you that are like an inch taller or, a bit smarter, just different in some kind of way. Wouldn't that be incredible? Just imagine there's other versions of you right now living, like maybe they're the president or something like that, Crazy.
Philosophically, this idea could lead to newer outlooks of nihilism and absurdism that may lead people to discuss the meaningful implications of decisions if every possible decision exists infinitely throughout the multiverse, making nothing unique, meaningful, or even significant in any possible way. Last Thursdayism. Continuing this idea in regards to a thought experiment put forth originally as a joke, but now proven to be a legitimate point of debate, Last Thursdayism explores further the absurdist crisis in regards to the multiverse theory and its mathematics. It states that everything that currently exists in the universe and that the universe itself was merely created last Thursday.
What?
One could attempt to argue that there is inherent proof of time existing before this point, and that the universe has indeed been around a lot longer than that. But any evidence provided is not objective proof, and is rather subjective interpretation.
But how? Because we can prove that, that certain things have been in, like for example, materials like pieces of rock. We can prove with carbon dating that they've been there for like 2,000 years, which is older than anybody that's alive right now. So we do have ways to objectively prove the age of things that just because we weren't alive to witness the creation of that thing, So I'm not sure about this one yet.
If you have a video recording of a time before last Thursday, one could argue that the device, the data and everything merely popped into existence to give the illusion of the universe having been around much longer than it actually has.
What?
This could be a counter-argument for any point raised against the philosophies of last Thursdayism, which could include video evidence, sensitive measuring equipment, natural phenomenon, occurring actions, and even your own memories. What is all the more mind-blowing about this theory is that it mathematically works. Given the concepts provided in the multiverse theory of every universe of every possible variation popping into existence, it could very well be the case that our instance of space and time was merely created last Thursday, and any other evidence to argue against the fact could merely have been popped into existence as well.
What?
This concept ultimately argues that only the here and now is real, and that only you could ever know that you exist. This ultimately begs the question, is anything we have ever experienced actually real, or the product of a universe that just popped into existence last Thursday?
No way. No way.
Given the mind-blowing theories, we are quite certain that your mind is teeming with questions when it comes to the nature of ourselves and our universe.
You've got that right.
Be sure to share your answers and questions below in the comment section.
Wow, so many questions. I mean, that last Thursdayism one, real head scratcher, because, I mean, you know, the memories that you have, like I can remember doing things, you know, and I'm sure you guys can too, that go far, you know, beyond what you did last Thursday. But then again, because your memory of those things isn't present, my mind is honestly scrambled. But yeah, it's weird. Like the multiverse theories, that's a really, really cool one, just because, you know, just the thought that there could be an infinite amount of versions of you, your loved ones, but just with different outcomes. You know, there's differences in maybe appearance, your values, you know, your position, you know, within the hierarchy of life. Real fascinating. And when he said that one day we might be able to explore them, imagine that'd be so cool. I love videos like this just because, you know, they make me think, you know, about, you know, what's out there and, you know, what's possible. Just really, really fascinating stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.